What's up, guys? Good evening. Awesome that intro worked. That's what I was hoping for the last time I was on here, and totally dropped the ball on it. But glad that worked. Thank you guys for all hopping on here, tuning in tonight. Got everybody hopping in, chiming in. Kevin Stewart, man, glad to have you here this evening. So, kind of be a little bit of a different show tonight. Mr. Ghost, nice intro. Thank you, sir. Believe it or not, I had started part of that video almost a year ago for CowRC content submission, and little did I know that it would be getting used as an intro as I host a show for CowRC. Good evening, Paul. So, welcome, I guess, to officially the episode number 1 of CowTech with me, Zack Cater, as your host. Jason, good evening, guys. Welcome, all you guys. Glad to see y'all chiming in. Howdy. So, like I said, tonight's show is going to be a little bit different because, as you can see, I have nothing on my bench tonight. Not going to be doing any wrenching tonight. Going to take the opportunity to use this episode to introduce myself. Because if you haven't guessed by now, this is going to start being a regular CowTech episode on the off weekends from Adam and Tyler's CowTech episode. The big difference is this show is going to all be based on racing, primarily from an 8th scale buggy standpoint, and how CowRC can help you with your RC maintenance game. So the way that I'm going to end up breaking this show down is a little bit of news to get out the way at the beginning of it, but I'm going to introduce myself to you guys, tell you basically a little bit about me, my road to CowRC, how I came to be on the team, touch on a little bit of sponsorship. You know, this is kind of the end of the regular silly season for most companies and guys that race, but CowRC is a little bit different, and I kind of want to touch on that and help guide some of you people in the right direction that may be interested in being part of the factory team. And then the second half of the show, I'm going to show you guys my personal at-home pit setup, how I've got everything laid out, my thought process behind it, focusing mainly on the actual work surface, what CowRC mats I use, why I chose those mats, and also kind of in the order of how I chose those mats. And, you know, granted, everybody's at-home pit area, it's going to be, you know, different. You may be one of the guys that have the huge RC room with abundant amount of room, or you may just be, you know, working off of your kitchen table. But hopefully tonight's show might help you out with, you know, what kind of mat to look for, to keep in mind for its use. And again, this is just my personal setup that works for me and how I put it together. So like always, guys, feel free to comment, chime in, any kind of questions. Happy to answer them for you to the best of my ability. And as always, if I don't know the answer, I will do my best to get back to you with the answer. So let's pop this up on here right quick. So a little bit of CowRC news to touch on right quick. If you go to the main page of CowRC.com, you can scroll down right here to the new products. The biggest things, the dual band headlamps. I actually remembered to bring them with me this time. They're no longer on pre-sale. So if you missed out on that, guys, sorry, you missed out on it. That was a killer buy. Good evening, Bob. Thank you very much. Chris, that's actually my dad right there. Let's see, what did he say? Kevin, very true statement, man. Getting backed up right here. Rick, headlamp will be here tomorrow. Awesome, yeah. So as of 2 days ago, if you pre-ordered the dual band headlamp, they should all be shipped out. And I can tell you guys, I've been using these headlamps for a little while now. And I've beat on them. Now I'm a mechanic for a living, so they've had tools thrown on them. They've been gritty, grimy, fantastic light output, good battery life. Definitely, a solid addition to any kind of pit setup that you have. Hey, laundry room, use that for your pit area. We do what we got to do. John, good evening. Tyler, hi, buddy. RC for us, yes. Glad for you to join in again. If you are tuning in from YouTube, by the way, please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps out a lot. So last thing, the folding little storage boxes, these guys are still on pre-sale. And it's a 4-pack for $19.99. So if you want to start out the new year kind of getting a little bit more organized, definitely take advantage of the pre-sale, save yourself some money. Super bright, love to hear it. They are the dual band I actually like because it's got a much taller view from it of light throw. And it helps out a lot in the shop. Big fan of it, and they're super comfortable. Man, everybody's chiming in. Great, man. I'd like to have you all here tonight. Sam, doing good tonight. Tyler, perfect, man. Hopefully this show will help you guys get a little bit organized where you're at and take advantage of that cleaning. That's basically it. Tyler and Adam had covered the new themed mouse pad mats in their last episode. So I'm not going to touch on that too much, but you can check those out again on the CowRC website. There are new themed mouse pad mats coming out. Safe RC, these are brand new, and I'll touch on this right quick without derailing too awful much. But basically they're a nice, simple little storage box that's foldable. Me being an 8 scale guy, I've got some pretty big stuff. But these are big enough, obviously, to fit wheel nuts, tie rod ends, end links, shock standoffs, and they're all in individual collapsible or sealable compartments. So it's just a really nice, affordable offering from CowRC to help keep your parts, small parts organized. Adam, big thanks to Adam. I'm going to throw this out here right quick. Definitely wouldn't be able to probably do this show without Adam. He's been a big help behind the scenes for me because I am not the most computer savvy guy. I do pretty good to do this live show with my cell phone on Facebook or something. But Adam, I appreciate you, man. Let's see. Absolutely, when you got screws, hard parts, just a way to keep you organized. As it's to go for the track, I'm assuming TOGO to go for the track. I use a hauler bag, and I've got some of the CowRC micro dot boxes, some of their other storage boxes. This is just a new offering that just came out. Wow, you ordered 16 of the boxes? That's impressive. So that's all I'm going to touch on, like I said, for CowRC news. Not a whole lot of new update stuff. So break this down. Like I said, the first part, introduce you guys to me, who I am. So obviously, I'm Zack Cater. But 37, I'm out of upstate South Carolina. So I've kind of got my average 3-hour driving range that I race in from the upstate area, Georgia, middle part of the state, North Carolina. I'm pretty blessed to have a lot of tracks around me within that range to go race to. So usually I guess I'm kind of what you call your average hobbyist racer every other weekend, twice a month, sometimes 3 times a month if I get really lucky and the wife's okay with it. Get to go race. Same thing. Family man, happily married for quite a while now. Beautiful little 4-year-old boy. A lot of you guys, balancing out family life and RC racing. Very fortunate that a lot of the times my family gets to go, to the races with me. We generally try to turn it into a camping experience as much as possible, staying overnight at tracks. So, Sleek Hobbies, welcome to the show. Again, a lot of you guys tuning in from YouTube. Just take a second, hit that like and subscribe button. So, this is probably going to be one of the harder episodes for me to do because if you know me in real life, I'm kind of an introvert. I listen more than I talk. You know, it's kind of odd that I'm hosting a show. But I wrote down a question like, why me? Why am I hosting this show? And honestly, about a year ago, Heath, who owns CowRC, obviously, had reached out to me about doing basically some more content stuff for CowRC. And I actually turned him down because I don't have a whole boatload of spare time, just like a lot of you guys. You know, I'm a blue-collar worker. I'm a mechanic for a living. I've literally been around the automotive field since I was in diapers playing in junkyards. And now I'm almost 20 years into professional as a mechanic. The last 16 years, I've worked strictly for BMW. So that's what I do. Turning wrenches is what I know. But I said, Heath had offered me, like I said, something else to do. Ended up turning him down because I don't have a whole lot of free time. And the same thing, you know, I'm sure a lot of you guys can kind of relate. My RC wrenching is done usually late at night, get a couple hours of sleep, get up to go to work in the morning. But Heath really appreciated my knowledge of the products because everything that you guys will see me use, see me talk about on the show, I have 100% used it all. If it's something new, obviously, like the storage boxes, I'm going to tell you guys. I got nothing to hide from you. But that was the biggest reason, or one of the biggest reasons. You know, Heath had said that he gets that I explain things similar to how he would probably explain things and my actual breakdown in product knowledge. Because your content's probably part of it, you know. I'll touch on that too. It's funny how making content kind of became a hobby within a hobby. Let's see, because you know your stuff. Absolutely, I love racing, and I'll get to you guys about how I came into racing. Motorcycles, funny thing, I'm going to touch on that one too. 4 a.m. Monday through Friday. I get it, guys. I said I'm a 12-hour a day, you know, at the shop kind of a guy. I leave the house at 6:30. I get home at 7. A couple of hours, you know, with the wife and kid. Everybody goes to bed. I'm out here turning wrenches. Yep. So that's just a little bit, you know, about me personally and you know, why you guys are seeing me on here. Tyler, right off of CowRC, man, go down. Well, you're going to see my balding head. But I'm a big flat bill guy. I love flat bills for the simple fact of blocking out lights at the track. I've got astigmatism, so I get a glare. So I love flat bills to basically just be able to duck down and look and see the track without blurring my vision. But yeah, straight off the CowRC.com website. Indians, right on, man. I've never owned an Indian. I was always a Harley guy. But let's see, going on. That's kind of like why I'm here is hosting this. My RC background, you know, I had a handful of RCs growing up that were, dare I say, you know, your cheap, entry level, you know, like big box store, let's just call it that, RCs. Kind of played around with, and the first like nice RC I got was a Traxxas 2.5 T-Max. Whenever they came out, had some crawler stuff, but hang on just a second. Do you wrench every day? Very close to it. Right now it's kind of slow time for racing being the winter, but I am getting ready to go to the Southern Indoor Championship in Alabama next weekend, so it's kind of been a mad flurry over the last month, getting my buggy ready, all freshened up for 2025. But yeah, started out 2.5 T-Max, handful of axial crawlers, my late teens, early 20s. kind of took a break from RC, got into other stuff, mid-20s, figuring out life, career. But what really kind of led me to RC was actually motorcycles. Kind of got back into riding motorcycles. I come from a family with multiple family members that ride. And long story short, ended up having 2 really bad motorcycle wrecks. About 2 years apart, both of them ended up putting me in the hospital. First wreck, fractured my T4, my T11 vertebrae, my right femur, and my left foot. So I was out of work for about a month, healing up, and got back in the saddle, kept riding. First bike was a 01 Road Glide that I totaled out. It's my own fault, low side slide. Second wreck was on a 2012 Street Glide that I had, and did nothing wrong. Got hit by another motorcyclist head on. Ended up, I broke the metacarpal behind my thumbs, and fractured one of the bones in my legs. I don't remember anymore, but there was unfortunately a loss of life in that wreck from the person that hit me head on, another motorcyclist. And it, being completely transparent, it took a real toll on me. That wreck actually kind of affected me mentally. Really just lost the drive to, ride anymore. And at that time, my son was about 6 months old. So kind of a real big awakening to, change life's priorities and, realize there's more to life that I need to worry about than just riding motorcycles. So kind of started looking around, for other hobbies, and, always kind of being a big kid, got back into RCs with the Traxxas Slash. I said, I'm pretty fortunate. I've got 2 really awesome tracks within about 30 minutes from my house that are actually completely different tracks. They're so fun to race on. Mr. Ghost, it is. It's definitely hard to get back on, but I'm stubborn. It's something that I didn't want life's troubles to take from me for something that I enjoyed. But yeah, got into racing with Traxxas Slash, running 2-wheel drive short course at a local track. And after about 6 months, didn't take long for me, to get the buggy bug, so to speak. 8th scale buggy, whether it's e-buggy or nitro, is by far dominant classes around my area. At any given time, you can go to any track, and there's going to be a buggy class. E-Revo and a Rustler, solid choices. But moved up into buggy, started with a TLR 8XE Elite, ran it for a season, and decided to change things up. So now I run Mugen MBX 8R Eco. I'm still an e-buggy guy. Not really had desire to go to nitro. Maybe my son might get into that later in life, and I can be his pit guy and teach him everything that I know. So they greatly appreciate that. It's probably something that a lot of people in life really can't do, and I've been super blessed with RC, not only as just a hobby to get into, but the biggest thing, the people that you meet, the friends that I have made, and obviously with Cal, the opportunities that have came forth before me have been epic. If you asked me, 2 years ago about doing a regularly scheduled show, you're full of it. Who wants to listen to some upstate South Carolina hillbilly talking about RC stuff? Everybody's asking me locally when I'm going nitro, but it's not in the bag yet. When I was younger, I understand that. I've had a lot of friends that have gotten hurt on bikes. Thankfully, nobody that's actually lost life. But times that I still miss it, man. And I pray for everybody out there that rides. That's true. I saw that you got on with TLR, Kevin, man. Congratulations. So, So that's kind of my background. Again, been racing 8th scale for 3-4 years. Animal pit for me. I'll take you up on that. But yeah, I've been racing for about 4 years, and I do take it seriously. Even though it's just a hobby, to relax. And I'll put it this way, everybody just says, oh, we're just racing toy cars. Well, for me, it's a little bit more than that, because this is obviously way more of an investment than a toy car. And while, I still want to have fun, I still want to hang out with my friends and everything, there's always that little side of you that's got that drive that, I want to beat you. It doesn't matter if it's your best friend or not. There's competition there. And you guys that race, you know what I'm talking about, There's competition inside. It's more than just racing toy cars for some people. That's right. In an RC, nitro is the glory. Mr. Ghost, we all got to have something to keep us going. Luckily for me, it's RC, my wife, and my son. Sleep, no problem. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Greatly appreciate it. So, moving on. I promise you that's just Sprite. It's nothing special. But that's kind of my background in RC. So next up, my road to CowRC. That's always a shame when somebody doesn't top off that tank. It's true, man. Race with the faster guys. So, all right. I'll hold off on the comments for a second. But my road to CowRC, how I got to him. Long story short, and full disclosure, before I came to CowRC, I was an industrial cleaner guy. Plain and simple, I used Simple Green to clean my buggy. And it's not a knock towards industrial cleaners or anything, but I had noticed my plastics after about a year starting to gray out. Comparing them to like new plastics when I was replacing stuff, you could visibly see there was a difference in those plastics. And you can read about that stuff all over the internet as far as graying out in plastics. And not like calling out industrial cleaners. If Simple Green, Purple Power, anything like that, those products are great at what they're meant to do. With cutting grease, being really aggressive. I use Simple Green to clean the floors in my garage, but not for RC. So I was looking for something better at that point for actually maintaining my vehicle. And I was at a race down in Loganville, Georgia, and my friend Kyle Hermans was down there, and he had this bright neon green spray bottle of stuff, and I knew it was CowRC, and I asked him, I was like, man, does that stuff actually really work? And he said, yeah. He's like, go for it, try it. So I cleaned my buggy on the spot there at the race, was impressed with the results, kind of started digging into CowRC some more, and started running all their products. And was really happy with all the results. And the big seller for me, and a lot of you guys have probably heard this story from the other CowTech show, like Mike Panakia has a very similar story, was an order I had placed. Heath actually called me because I'd left a review on the website, and it was the hide wipes. They'd leaked out a little bit around the top. Didn't ruin any products in the package or anything. But I just, wanted to make it a note, if they were aware of it or not. And it was almost like midnight, and I get a call from New York, and I'm like, I don't really know anybody from New York. I got like one friend that lives up there, and it was Heath. And he basically, just wanted to talk to me about, the review that I left, explain to me what happened, why the containers leaked out, the whole process behind it. And I was just kind of like blown away. It's like, why in the world would an owner of a company, take the time to call little old me, a nobody, and explain this? But it just showed me how much, Heath actually really cared about the products. And if you ever have talked with Heath, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Yep, right there, Kevin. You know what I'm talking about. Heath loves his products. He's very passionate about it. The same thing, with the customer base. He's passionate about it. And if you get on the phone with him at any point, you can kind of tell sometimes he'll start kind of going down a rabbit hole of just background upon background of, how products have came to be or developed. And again, the guy knows his products like nobody's business. And right there, well, that's like customer service is absolutely outstanding. So, at that point, I really enjoyed the products. Obviously, he's customer service and care for the customer for his products. I was really sold. I was definitely sold on the products and on the company, and top notch. They're pretty cool. His rabbit hole tangents are pretty cool. I have no clue, like, just how much development goes into everything, and it's really impressive. Uh, so I got some notes over here to kind of keep me on track. So that was kind of like my start and road to CowRC, and started posting photos in the fan page. So if anybody doesn't know, there is a CowRC fan page on Facebook. You just literally go to CowRC fan page, and it's right there. But started posting photos, some videos of products. I would kind of do my own little short videos on products. Like one of them was when the ultra thin PTFE oil came out, about maintaining bearings. Just my process. I really wanted to just try to give back to other RC people at the time, and show them that, hey, these products are no joke. These, they actually work. He makes a real good product. Absolutely, Tyler. That's very much so true, man. Best in the biz, the RC maintenance king for a reason. But while submitting, content submissions on the fan, well, at the time it wasn't content submissions. It was just me on the fan page showing my love for the products. Kind of ended up finding myself enjoying doing photos, doing media content, doing videos, and actually just really kind of found a hobby within a hobby. And after, I don't know, 6-7 months, got a message from Mike Panacchia about, hey, would you be interested in joining the team? And yeah, absolutely. What do I got to do? And if you guys want to know how to get on to the factory team, I encourage you, go to YouTube and look up CowTech episode 7. You can literally just go to YouTube, type in CowTech 7, and it'll pull up the CowTech episode with Adam, Tyler, and Mike. And they do a really good breakdown with all the information that you need for getting on to the factory team. If it's something that you think that you want to do, or something that you might want to proceed and check out. But trying to think of how to word it, go watch that episode. Just trust me on that one. John, customer service is above and beyond. You know they're out of a product. Absolutely, John. Heath is a very gratuitous gentleman. But I said, I'll say, the fan page and showing off your love for the products there and how you use them, that's your gateway to the factory team. So again, go check out CowTech episode 7 on YouTube, and it'll outline basically everything that you need to know, because this is kind of the end of silly season in the racing world, but CowRC is always looking all year long for potential factory team guys. So keep that in mind, episode 7. So that's kind of a rough rundown of me, my road to CowRC, how I got on the factory team, why you guys see me here before you tonight. And again, thank you all that are tuning in. And we're going to switch gears, bring up another camera. Look at that. Save 10% now. Don't forget, guys, use the code COW-TECH. save 10%. And we're going to shift gears, and I'm going to show you guys my own home personal layout. And we're going to go a little free-handed with the camera right quick. So I'm going to minimize myself and just bring up the second camera and show you guys an overall view of what I'm working with. And bear in mind, this is my pit station, but this is also where basically what has become my studio for the CowTech show. So well, can you guys hear me now? Is it back on? John, Chris, can you hear me? Let me know. I might have just moved too far away from the microphone. John, you hear me? All right. Sorry, guys. Apparently, when I swapped one camera, I lost the audio off of this camera. But that's thank you guys for letting me know on the audio. I appreciate that. I'll definitely have to keep that in mind. Hey, I'll see you in the background, buddy. Sorry, there's somebody else behind scenes, but that was my own fault. So you're good, Adam. Adam's in the background, guys. So he's here, definitely helping me out. But we're going to start with this main, mat. I'm going to bring this up. This is the 24x48 mouse pad mat. Honestly, this was not one of the first mats that I purchased. This was like my second mat that I had purchased. And when I first started doing my own, at-home setup, I didn't have this big desk. I had just an old, like, 1970s typewriter desk that I got for like $5 off of Facebook Marketplace, which, by the way, get off. Hang on. Stuff popping up on my screen. If you're looking for a super cheap way to have a workbench, look for old computer desk on Marketplace, especially like this one. People just trying to give them away because they're big, bulky, and heavy. And again, I know not everybody's going to have, this kind of room, this kind of layout. You might have more, you might have less. So just keep in mind as I go along that this is just my personal setup. But as you saw, I've got two of the 24x48 mouse pad mats set up. And honestly, the biggest reason that I had went with the mouse pad mats was to cover up this vintage 90s, 2000s ugly wood, basically. The mouse pad mats, the graphics on these are absolutely phenomenal. I'll say this camera. If you've never seen one of these or used one, Heath did a killer job on the graphics for these mats. But they're very easy and portable, to move around, to roll up. And I'll show you with one of these small mats. The back side of these mats have a nice rubberized texture to them, so they really stay in place on your work area. They don't shift, they don't move around. But that's one reason I love these. The real big reason that I love the mouse pad mats is I do my own airbrushing for painting bodies. Basically, I got tired of sending a body off, waiting, a month plus or whatever to have it painted and then sent back to me. And it's like, well, the cost of painting a couple of bodies, I could just invest in an airbrush myself and do it all on my own. But when you're painting a body or you're prepping one, with the mouse pad mats, you don't have to worry about it scuffing, the outside of the body, putting any scratches in it, because it's a very nice soft surface. And the same way, you don't have to worry about, like rubbing the finish on a magnetic mat. So that's the biggest reasons that I like the mouse pad mats. And obviously the 24 by 48 is what I went with for just huge coverage. You can cover up a large area of workspace with the 24 by 48 mat. And again, I've got two of them over here. Off to my left hand side is basically where I do all of my airbrushing. My whole pit area is kind of broke down into three main areas for work. Basically airbrushing, long-term projects on my left side with the mouse pad mat. The center area here right in front of me is where I do a lot of my main work. And I'm going to move some stuff around right quick. And actually, I'm going to come around to the main area last. But let's move some stuff over here. Move some mats around. Let's slide this off to the side. And I'll just bring the big boy in here. So you guys know, the carbon mats came out, relatively recently-ish. They're one of the newest mats in the lineup. And get you on some comments. George, what's going on? That's actually my uncle right there, guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight. But the Carbon Series mats have been absolutely phenomenal since they came out. Super, super tough, super durable. Again, you can take these mats and still roll them up for transport. If I'm not mistaken, this mat was actually the most recent mat that I had bought. I was kind of a holdout for a while on getting the Carbon Series. And once I got it, I absolutely love them. And the Carbon Series is basically my dirty mat. The Carbon Series are what I take to the racetracks with me. Absolutely one of my favorites. And in all sizes of the carbon mats, whether it's the big boy right here, the 12 by 16, or the new micro ones, the 5.5 by 8s. I wanted a mat to basically do all of my dirty work on. I wanted something that was tough, durable. Racing here in South Carolina, we're on hard packed clay all the time. And if you know anything about clay, it makes dust that gets everywhere. All right, so about 30 minutes is when my voice starts getting dry. Keep that noted. But that was the big reason for the carbon mats. And the table that I was using at the time at the tracks just happened to have the same surface area as the 24 by 30. But I'm a big fan of when I do my disassembly and breakdown on the buggies to break it down into a front, center, rear section to keep everything organized. And with the Carbon Series mat and the pockets on the side, you definitely can do that. Use the pockets for the front side of the buggy, the back side of the buggy, and the center. But hang on just one second. Mr. Gross, actually, being a mechanic, I did that. I use toolbox liners, and they are no comparison to a good Carbon Series mat. Seems like carbon mat had the 8 scars in mind. Yeah, definitely, especially the big boy mat. I think there's definitely some 8 scale influence in there, because the pockets on these, you can see, are really nice and deep. And granted, when I go, to a racetrack, I'm not doing full big tear downs. All of that stuff should be done before I ever get to the track. But I still have a nice big work area for, swapping out diffs, changing shock oil, and just an overall area to work with. But the number one reason why I ended up going with 24 by 30. Sorry, I keep saying 24 by 36. I'm sorry, guys, 24 by 30. But the number one reason I went with the 24 by 30 carbon mat, I wanted an area to be able to actually wash my buggy inside my garage. Because again, a lot of you guys, I'm out here in the garage late at night working, after work. And like right now, it's like 38 degrees and it's raining outside. I didn't want to take my buggy outside in the cold and, clean it off outside. I wanted something that I could use inside, whether I'm using the USB sprayer or if I'm just using a tub of chassis wash and a brush and brushing it off. The Carbon Series mat, does great about basically retaining that chassis wash to where whenever I'm done cleaning, you can basically just fold it up, go dump out, all the dirty chassis wash outside. But that was really my number one reason for going to this mat, was just to have that ability to be able to come into the garage and clean everything after a day of racing or the next day without, making a huge mess everywhere. Hang on a second. He steered me away from the large mouse pad for the same reason. Mr. Ghost, what reason was that? I might have missed something there from you, buddy. Okay, better than you can have all the snow you want. He said, I lived in Cleveland, Ohio for 2 years. I'm good on snow. So yeah, carbon mats, that's my dirty setup. And you can see I keep it off to my right side. So I've got my left side for doing really nice cleaning detail work. Got my whole family tuning in tonight. Thank you. Oh, cleaning inside, Mr. Ghost. Yeah, that's a huge blessing, just to be able to come, in the garage and sit down and actually clean without, making a huge mess every place. Or I would use like the lid to an action packer, just something to have as a basin to clean with, versus, I've got a dedicated area to do that. So I said, nice detail stuff off to my left, painting bodies, long project stuff, all goes over there on the mouse pad mat. And then off to my right, that's my whole dirty area, is using the carbon fiber mats. The same thing, if I'm running parts through the ultrasonic cleaner, everything can just lay out on the carbon mat, blow it off, dry. The same thing, cleaning tires. The carbon mat is just the dirty work king. Oh, you must have one heck of a wife or either be a bachelor, man. My wife would probably go nuts if she saw me cleaning clay in our living room. The kitchen table days. So, all right, so moving back around to the main work area. The first mat that I ever purchased from CowRC was this mat. Ah, bachelor, that explains it. But this is the large 19 by 24 magnetic mat. Before I purchased anything from CowRC, I think my first purchase was one of the large maintenance kits, and this was the mat that came with it, and is also one of the requirements to be on the CowRC team. So just keep that in mind, a little bit tidbit for you guys. But at the time, like the large maintenance kits just had a little bit of everything in them. Had the large mat in them, the white magnetic mat, and after I purchased it, that's actually when I bought the mouse pad mat, which you can get them in a bundle, because with the mouse pad mat, you can also add in the 10 by 8 white magnetic mats. So again, with that thought process of downs as front, center, rear, just like with the carbon mat, this was the original layout that I had gotten for that. Let's see. Jason, thank you, sir. John, absolutely, man. Love to hear it. So, a couple of reasons why, like, my first purchase was the white magnetic mats. One, obviously, the magnetic part of them. You know, when I'm here at home, I'm generally not doing, small work on my buggy. It's usually the full teardown, stripping everything all the way down to a bare chassis, pulling all the electronics off. And for me, it might be a 2 or 3 night process. So with the magnetic surface, everything stays right where I left it from the night before. I don't have to worry about anything going anywhere, moving or anything like that. But also, my lighting has improved in the garage, especially with the pit lamp. But the white finish on these mats is just super bright. So it brightens up the whole work area for me, makes everything just easier to locate. Because again, I don't have a whole lot of time for turning wrenches. So I'm trying to be as efficient as I can when I'm out here. Basically, I've got my own routine down by now of how I like to do everything. But just maximizing efficiency, even if it's just locating that little CV joint pin or something. I know where it's at. So you kind of get twofold with the white magnetic mats. One, you get the magnetic area to hold everything, but all of the individual pockets that you can organize and set everything in for your non-magnetic stuff, or if you're just trying to keep similar together, like you want to keep your pin, your barrel, your CV of your axle shaft all in one spot. You can do it in the individual spots, so you're maximizing time as you're actually wrenching. Works great. Rick, absolutely love to hear it. So that's one reason I'm really big on this 3-piece setup. It's not a setup that I really take to the track, because again, when I'm at a track or I'm racing, I'm generally not looking to do big teardowns, hopefully, unless chaos ensues. It's mostly just diff oil changes, shock oil changes, because again, you guys will probably hear me say this a lot throughout episodes. Right here on the bench is where your racing actually starts. It's not during practice. It's not during that first qualifier. It's here in your time, your spare time, free time, whatever you've got, actually doing your maintenance work. That's where your racing is going to start. One other thing, and this kind of came about later, but again, with the bright whiteness of the magnetic mats, like I said, I do my own airbrushing. I do my own paint work on my bodies. A friend of mine had mentioned that got into painting was to get I think they're called a light board. You'll see like tattoo artists or people with tracing paper that use them. It's basically just a board, backlighting on it. And I had thought, it's like, well, I've basically got that. So if you guys are into painting your own bodies, this nice white bright surface, you can take advantage of it. Now, granted, this is an old body of mine. It's been painted. But when you're doing your cutout work on your lines inside, and you use the pit light to come down in nice and bright, it really makes your lines for your design just pop. And it makes it so much easier to do your detail cutouts with a hobby knife. So that's my biggest reasons for going with the large size magnetic work mat. Again, this is the mat that started it all for me, and it's still been an amazing mat. Twister calls and action of the first supporters and the products work. No kidding, Bob. Cool, man. Thank you for that. Johnny with the split screen. I'm still kind of figuring that one out, because obviously I don't have anybody that hosts along with me, so I'm kind of working out on that part. Look like a 5-year-old painting my car. Hey, I probably went through about a dozen bodies before I got a body that I thought actually looked pretty good. Jixer J, no, that is not somebody that I know or that sounds familiar. So guys, for the most part, you know, that's my at-home screen setup. Again, 3 main mats that I use: the 24 by 48 mouse pad mat, the 19 by 24 mag mat with the 2 6 by 18 side mats to them. Again, I'm just a very big advocate for front, center, rear setup. It just makes it so much nicer to keep everything in line. And when you're doing your teardowns, just to kind of keep everything rolling and you know where it's all at. And of course, the big 24 by 30 carbon series mat. Just a tough do-it-all mat, tough as nails. So hopefully maybe that help you guys out a little bit. If you're looking at changing up your pit area, Tyler, cleaning out your area tonight or over the weekend, and you're looking to kind of repurpose things. This is my setup that works for me. Again, everybody's going to be a little bit different kinds of space, different amounts of room. Mr. Ghost, right on, guys. Love hearing your feedback on that kind of stuff. As these shows go along, it's really going to be driven by you, the viewers, especially me being here as a one-man show. If there's anything that you want to see, you want to know about that's CowRC related, and how it might be able to help you out, hit me up on Facebook. You can message me personally. Go to the CowRC fan page, because I would love to hear your guys' ideas. That will definitely help drive this show down the future. Yeah, that's an awesome setup. The carbon fiber mat with the drop-in magnetics. Me personally, one of my favorites is the 12 by 16 carbon mat with the drop-in soldering mat. That guy's just a little banger of a mat. You get so much for your money with that setup. That will be my next purchase and restocks on my other purchases. Love to hear it, John. Love to hear it, man. Thank you all. Thank you all. Hey, I'm gonna tune in. So, yeah, actually, well, I'll touch on that. If anybody is going to the Southern Indoor Championship next week I'm going to butcher the name of the city, Otagoville, Alabama. There's way too many vowels in the name of that city for me to pronounce it right. So if anybody's going down to SIC next weekend, give me a shout out. I'll be down there from Thursday till potentially Monday, depending on how far I'll make it into the mains on Sunday. I would love to meet some of you guys. If there's any kind of a product from CowRC that you want to see, odds are I'm probably going to have it with me, because I'm rolling heavy down there to SIC with everything I got. So just keep that in mind. SIC, hit me up, guys. I'll be there racing. More than likely getting my butt kicked, but going to have a good time with a bunch of friends. Mr. Ghost, hey, no, thank you, sir. Love hearing the feedback, man. Again, hopefully, like any show that you guys see me do, it's going to help you guys out. Help take your maintenance game to the next level, maybe be a little bit more efficient, maybe save you some tenths on the track, depending on what kind of a show I'm doing. Mr. Ghost, thank you. Greatly appreciate that. I will be down there freezing my backside off with the winter weather that's about to hit the south. So guys, if anybody else, you got any more comments, got any questions, drop them down in. This is going to kind of wrap it up for me. Bob, absolutely love to hear it. Again, this will be all racing, predominantly an 8th scale show, but you guys that do carpet racing, 10th scale, I would love to hear back from you guys that are drag racers. Obviously, same thing, would love to hear back from it. And again, you guys share those buggies on the fan page. If you're working on your 8th scale buggy or truggy, and you're using some CowRC products, put it on the fan page. Absolutely love to see that. Love to see guys using the products on their buggies and truggies. I wish I had heated gear to go down, but I don't. I'm lucky I got a camper though. Jeffrey, CV and universal service and cleaning. I touched on that in like one of the pre-episodes of this that I had done, but that is definitely a topic that I've got down that I will cover in an episode. I can tell you ultralight grease coating. That is the money for your CVs because I'm still a CV guy. I don't use universals in my buggy. Still rocking CVs, but the CowRC ultralight grease has been a big game changer for me on that. Johnny Miller, do you have a spray can? No, I'm not a super fast cat, guys. Locally, I'm, fast sportsman, slow pro. I'm running intermediate buggy for SIC. And if I make the B main, I will be totally stoked. I like to do shows with 10 scale. Hey, you never know. Could be. There's a lot of stuff that's came out from the CowTech shows. Better than a tent. There's no way I would go down there in a tent. Forget that. How do you stow away your screw boxes? Honestly, I just have a Proline hauler bag, and they just go in one of the drawers with the rest of them, and that's basically it. I don't keep them tied down or anything. They get shifted and bounced around, which is a hauler bag's ready to go for the race. Got CowRC duffel bag loaded up again for SIC. But yeah, as far as stowing my boxes, they basically just go in the drawer of the hauler bag and they just ride. If there's like too much room, I'll take some microfiber towels and pack them. Don't really get beat up too much. Ultralight grease is awesome, and I'm learning, trying more uses for it. Most recent pillow balls. I did a brief video on that too, using ultralight grease. It is really impressive, but there will be more videos, hopefully down the road, showcasing CV maintenance, bearing maintenance, cleaning your buggy, different ways to clean your buggy as well, not just one. I've got a list of about 12 different shows that I could think of to come up with right off the bat. So again, hopefully with your guys' input, you can kind of compound and go off of that as well, and run this as long as possible. Hand warmers in all pockets and boots, probably that, and multiple layers of clothing. Any suggestions on which maintenance kit to get for someone that has been out of the RC world for 25 years, mainly 10th scale? Honestly, I went with the large kit, the large maintenance kit, and granted, I'm not a 10th scale guy. I'm on a bigger scale, but for me, the large maintenance kit was just the best bang for the buck with how many products you get in it. You get a nice array of a little bit of everything from CowRC, plus, the large magnetic screw catcher mat. So that's just my personal thoughts on the maintenance kit, which there are a boatload of maintenance kits that have come out, especially over the last couple of months. He has really expanded on that line. So take some time to check them out. If you race oval, would you come down here to Virginia? Tyler, I'm not an oval guy. I'm just an 8th scale e-buggy guy. So no oval for me. But I will definitely look that up because, Tyler, I do go to West Virginia relatively regularly. It's where my wife's from, and we go up there to see family too. So if it's on the way or something, man, maybe I can check it out. Again, you're welcome. So, guys, that's about it. I'm out of time here. So, again, if you're going down to SIC, look me up, holler at me, find me at the track. Let me know that you're going. I'll find you at the track. And we can definitely talk some CowRC stuff. So, guys, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Don't forget, next Sunday, tune in for CowTech with Adam and Tyler. Keep following along with that X-Max build. Get in on that Charlie 11 build for the giveaway that'll be given away in February. So that's it, guys. God bless you all. Have a good night.